Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. I can already see some people in the chat. So while everyone is joining, you can tell me how your day was today. Maybe how was your week? Is there anything special you want to share? So please, if there is anything you would like to share in the comments, feel free to do that. And also some questions. So if there is anything to ask me about, you can start with that. I'll try to read as many comments as I can. So yeah, please open those comments, type there, hello, hello. It's really nice. Okay, thank you for congratulations. Hi, it's really nice to see some familiar people there. So I hope you are doing great. So, how are you? You can text me about that, and I would be really great to see it. And as everybody is joining, I think we can get started. So, first of all, let me introduce you today's topic. And today we're going to speak about science and technology and how not to mention some future forms. Speaking of technology, so yeah, we will speak about future as well. So, it's nice to hear that or to see that you are not bad. I wait for more comments and I guess we can start. So, everybody who's joining, again, welcome here. Today we have our next webinar, and we're going to speak about future and science and technology. First of all, I would like to remind you a little bit about the general test structure. So, in the test, we're gonna have two main parts, which are reading and use of English, as you know. And speaking of reading, here are the main tasks that you will have. First of all, that's a matching task. As you know, different advertisements, some informational short texts where you need to get the main idea. Then there would be reading, which is big text with true-false activities. After that, you will have again a matching task, but here you will need to guess some key information or some details in the text. And after that, there would be fill in the gaps with the sentences task. So, you know, like that big solid text where some tiny parts or like parts of the sentences or whole sentences are missing, and you'll have to do that. And then you have use of English activities with fill in the gaps task dedicated to your vocabulary knowledge, and then fill in the gap task dedicated to grammar. So I guess we've already practiced most of these things, but I'm not sure whether we paid attention to task 4 of reading, where you have to fill in the gaps with some parts of the sentences. Hello, hello, everybody. It's good that I can see more people, so feel free to text me in the chats. And when you have this fill in the gaps task, here are some main clues that might be helpful. So, first of all, you should look at the text briefly, like to try to grasp the main idea of it. Then you need to decide what kind of information is needed in your gap, like whether it should be some object or some clause, like граматична основа, підмет присудок, or maybe you need some time or place or whatever. So then, looking through the options, you try to choose what fits, maybe grammatically, maybe logically, cross out like definitely weird options, and then check whether the chosen option corresponds to this gap. Like if there is subject-verb agreement. Говорячи subject-verb agreement, ми маємо на увазі, що у нас підмет та присудок знаходяться в правильній формі. It's not like he like, but he likes, right? Noun-pronoun agreement. Again, whether you have like lady and then he, or lady and then she. It matters a lot. Tenses and so on. Hey everybody, so I'm happy that you keep joining. We are speaking about science and technology today and future tenses. And also, you need to reread the complete text with all the answers to make sure that all looks good. And then, when you have those extra answers left, make sure they are really extra and they don't suit better than one of the options above to the things that you have already solved. So, here we have a text where you have to fill in the gaps with the parts of the sentences. So please look carefully, and I'm waiting for your comments with the correct answers on what should be there. Hello, hello. So I'm gonna read the text slowly. Once you're ready with the answer, put the number. They are taken from some. Thank you for greetings. It's so nice to read. All right. So we are doing the test. Let's focus on that. So from number 33, let's get started. So the team, led by researchers from the University of Melbourne, was studying their temperature. So any ideas what could be in the gap? Okay. I don't agree with D because was studying in order to keep cool. I'm not sure that you study to keep cool. All right, G. They was studying how colors regulated their temperatures. Yeah, seemed logical to me. They were studying how koalas regulated temperatures. Okay, for decades, people thought that koalas clung to trees simply because they were tired and wanted to nap. However, scientists have unlocked that koalas hug trees. Why do they hug trees? And here it's D. In order to keep cool, yeah, and avoid dehydration during hot summer. If any words that confuse you and you want to check their meaning, you can type the word in the chat. I would translate it to you. Let's keep moving. In a study published in the Royal Society Journal Biology Letters, scientists used thermal cameras to reveal that something was hot. The animals moved to the lower, cooler parts of the trees. So, H, when the weather was hot, yeah, they moved, agree. They also pressed their bodies even closer to the trunks. K, Natalie Briscoe, the researcher from Melbourne University, said there is a 5-degree difference in temperature. And there is something else. So there is a difference in temperature A between a tree trunk and the air. Exactly. So koalas utilize the cooler surface by spreading themselves out on large branches or by hugging the trunk. Basically, обнимаючи стовбур, hugging the trunk. So Miss Briscoe said, access to these trees, something a koala needs to keep cool on a hot day. So access to the trees can save about half the water a koala needs to keep cool on a hot day. Good. She said the trees are probably cooler because of the water they suck from the ground. the koala's cooling technique could be one way for humans Okay, explain 36 task. Do I need to translate it for you? So we have the sentence in number 36 that Natalie Briscoe said, що існує різниця у 5 градусів в температурі між стовбуром дерева та повітрям. So that means a tree trunk, стовбур дерева, is much cooler than the air. How much? Like 5-degree difference. Okay, and meanwhile I got some answers for 38, which means E. So the koala's cooling technique could be one way for humans to survive increasingly hot summers. Okay, any more questions about this particular test? Or shall we move on? Okay, then let's keep moving. So we have 2 extra answers which are not needed. Good. And now, as you can pay attention, we have some words here like researchers, scientists, a study, and stuff like that. So I've collected these words here, and now let's try to choose something that fits the sentences. So first of all, our conclusions are based on research. Which word from all you can see in the table fit here? So our conclusions are based on what could be before research? On study research, well, I think there should be some adjective because research is already a noun. So, on scientific research, на наукових дослідженнях. Okay, number 2, the something was published in the British Medical Journal. So, what was published? It should be some noun because we have an article and then the verb. So number 2, please. The research. I guess it's possible, but pay attention. We have some shorter word. So what else can it be? A bit shorter because I can't put research in such a small gap. So no ideas, really? The study. Again, something like дослідження could be study. Yes, Diana, exactly. So the study was published in the British Medical Journal. Good. And number 3, 10 years ago, I began into the role of women in trade unions. So I began what in number 3? Yeah, I don't mind. Number 2 could be research. And number 3, I began researching, like I began doing something. Okay. Or I began to study or studying. Well, could be, but if it's into the role, then researching into something, like look deeper into the topic. So research fits better. But anyway, I like all your options, so thank you for commenting. Okay, now, speaking of technology, it's impossible to imagine our life without some things, like technological things around us. So what do you think? Which of these things are a gadget, equipment, tool, and appliance. So what is A? What would you call it? Of course, it's a washing machine, but still, like, what is that? Is it a gadget? Or is it a tool? Okay, so somebody says it's equipment, appliance. So what is that? Actually, A is appliance. So when we have all the big things in our house doing some job for us, like vacuum cleaner, washing machine, and so on, they would be appliances. Okay, B is a gadget. Yeah, so usually high tech things, small things like our phones, smart watches, and other smart things would be gadgets. Okay, so B, agreed, it's a gadget. What about C? So C is definitely equipment, something complicated, a lot of stuff together that does some work would be equipment, right? And then logically D is a tool. So a tool could be very simple. It doesn't necessarily need some electricity and stuff like that. So yeah, tools could be pretty simple things. Well done. So then here I have even more words, and your task is to guess what is what. So what could be a set of things needed for a particular activity, especially an activity of a practical or technical kind? The most general word. Any of your ideas? Equipment. So, equipment in general, that should be a set of things. So, it's typically not like one tool, but a set of something would be equipment. Then, when we have one particular piece of equipment which uses electricity, petrol, or some other source of power, what could it be? Again, your ideas? So, one piece of equipment which needs some energy source to work. Tool. But hammer, molotok, is also a tool. It doesn't need electricity. Okay. Any more ideas? So let's remember that piece of equipment which uses some power is typically some engine, like motor. Or sometimes like machina, but definitely that's something that, yeah, uses power. Okay, letter C. Machine or tool that does some special job. Machine or tool that does some special job. What could it be? Appliance. Could be or could be device. I think I even saw some word like that in the comments. So device, it's something for particular purposes. I need some device that would write my homework instead of me. So it's still some particular job. Yeah? Then you need a device. Letter D, small, useful, and cleverly designed machine or tool. You will guess it for sure. So, small, useful, and cleverly designed, or some smart machine or tool. What would it be? Okay, that's a gadget. Good. Electrical machine that is used in the house. So engine can be used on a factory, on some plant, and so on in industry. But here in the house, and that is appliance. Right, appliance. So what we use in the house, it's appliance. Good. Okay, the part of a machine that produces power. So here, something that produces power, especially from petrol, steam, or oil. Petrol, like palivo, steam, para, and oil, like nafta, not olje in these terms. Okay, and you say engine. I would agree. Oh, oh, guys, I guess I mixed it up. Okay, so, or it could be machine in general. And I spoiled the next one, so I'm sorry for that. Instrument is a piece of equipment used for exact difficult work. So you can use some instruments in medicine, science, music, and so on. They are like complicated and used for some exact work. And simple instrument like hammer, saw, and so on. I agree with motor, by the way, possible. Yay, good. Specific instrument would be a tool. Nice job. Okay, so then here I have all of them in the context. I'm pretty sure you can easily guess what is what. So, number one, all students at the school have the opportunity to learn an. It's already not that big choice because of an article. So, to learn what? An instrument. Like probably musical instrument, like piano or something like that. It's impossible to use any word started with consonant приголосного because we have an article, so there should be some vowel голосний. All right, what about number two? There's plenty of space for all the usual kitchen. So kitchen what? Kitchen appliances. Yeah. So we may have an appliance, like one thing, we can have appliances, like all these machines, like mixer, microwave oven, kettle, electric kettle, and so on. All of them would be appliances. Very good. Okay. The fax something is broken. So what is that? So the fax something, and that's fax machine. Agree? All right, number four. I fastened my seatbelt and turned on the. Probably it's about the car. So what can you turn on? The engine. Yeah, very good. Okay, number five. A good kit should contain pliers, screwdrivers, and so on. So what kit? Tool kit. Yes, exactly. So we'll have a tool kit like nabir instrumentiv tool kit. And number six, a good compass is an essential piece of something when you're hiking. So compass is a piece of what? Equipment, piece of equipment. Equipment could be like спорядження or обладнання. When we speak about lots of instruments or machines in some place, like medical equipment, that would be more like медицинське обладнання. But when you go somewhere, your equipment can become спорядження. So you may have some hiking equipment, some traveling equipment, and so on and so on. Okay, good job here. So let's keep moving and now try to guess the word that is hidden in the gap. Marie Curie did something with radioactivity and Alexander Bell with telephone. So what are the words? I give you a clue, they are different. So try to guess. So what did Marie Curie do? Invented, yes, that's one of the words. Is it about A or B? Did Marie Curie invent radioactivity? B, invented. Okay, then what is A? Is it an invention? Like, did she invent radioactivity? Founded. No, usually we found something that is like some establishment or institution, like some university was founded. Okay, so what should we put here? What did she do? Yeah, like відкрила Америку, but what is the word? How to say відкрити? Like something new in English. Okay, it's time to show you. So she discovered radioactivity, and Alexander Bell, he invented the telephone. So what's the difference between those two words? Like, did radioactivity exist before Marie Curie discovered it? Yes. Yes, it existed. So she just found out that it exists. So she discovered it. But it existed before. And for Alexander Bell, it was completely new device, never existed before. So he invented it, like completely new thing. Okay, well done here. So then, right now I have even more words like explore, find out, learn, inspect. Your task is to guess what is what. So when we obtain or get knowledge or skill through studying or training, what do we do when we get some knowledge or skill? Number one, give me the word. Again, please mention the numbers. Будь ласка, вказуємо номери, коли відповідаємо, or I will lose your answers. Learn, of course, learn. Number two, when you learn something you didn't know, especially through some effort, when you're focused on acquiring some knowledge, what do you do? Yeah, you find out. Like, I decided to find out, like, з'ясувати, розібратися, how photosynthesis works, for example. So that's something you could learn, but you can also find out. Okay, the number three, when you become aware of something you didn't know before. So number three, what could it be? Yeah, you can discover, like you never knew it exists, and then like, wow, I never had an idea. Yeah, so you discovered something. It's not about some big discoveries. Sometimes you can discover that in English we can express future things with present tenses. That would be a small discovery just for you. Okay, I can already see number four. So when you create it for the first time, yeah, that's an invention. Many correct answers. Number five, investigate something like розслідувати a place or some field systematically to find more facts. That would be explore, досліджувати, explore. And number 6, examine something carefully in order to check if that's all right. Inspect. So when you look very carefully and detailed at something, that would be inspect. Very good. So many correct answers. I'm proud of you. So now, let's put these words in the correct gaps. So number 1, Captain Cook, what did he do with Australia? Again, don't forget to mention the numbers. So Captain Cook, he discovered Australia because before him, Europeans didn't know that this land exists. Good. Number 2, Apollo program was set up to outer space. So what can we do with the outer space? Explore it. Very good. Досліджувати. So it exists, you just want to study it carefully. Explore. Number 3, the insurance company, страхова компанія, has to do something with my car before paying me for the damage. Outer space, it's like зовнішній космос. So outer space, basically cosmos, yeah. So, страхова компанія має зробити щось з моїм автомобілем перед тим, як платити мені за пошкодження, спричинені аварією. So, the insurance company has to inspect my car. Exactly. Look carefully whether there are some damages and so on. Number 4. Craig has decided to attend classes in order to... What do we do? Yeah, that's easy. Learn French. So we learn languages as some practical skill. Number 5. Did you, whether you're working this week or not? So did you find out? Ти з'ясувала? Did you find out? Okay, and number 6. Marconi, the radio. Should be easy. So number 6. Invented. He invented the radio, of course. Good job. Okay, so then right now let's look at the picture. And tell me, please, what time is it about? We are presenting our invention at the technology fair. So, is it happening right now? Like, are we presenting it right now? Read all the sentences carefully and tell me whether the fair, like the технологічна ярмарка, is happening right now or not. Yeah, so it will happen in the future. It takes place on Thursday, right? But what tense are we using? Somebody said that it's present continuous. So how is it possible to use present when we speak about future? Actually, that's one of the very commonly used ways of using present tenses. So yeah, present continuous as well as present simple can be used to express some future actions, and now we'll have a look how it works. So, we typically use present continuous when we speak about some future arrangement like домовленості, which usually involve another person, some time and place. So if you agree to see somebody, to have some meeting, interview, and stuff like that, that would be present continuous. Like, I am staying at my friend's house in Lviv. So you agreed with your friend. You exactly know the place, like it will be Lviv, and you exactly know the dates because when you agreed with your friend, probably you mentioned something. Or I bought tickets and I am traveling to Lviv. So again, here we know the date because it's impossible to buy tickets without knowing it, and we know the place. So if at least a few conditions from here are satisfied, like we know another person and we agreed with them, we know the place and we know the date, then it could be present continuous because you have some specific plans. And we can use present simple when we speak about timetables and schedules, or when we speak about some public, well known general events. So, my train leaves at 10 p.m., or this scientific fair, Naukova Yarmarka, starts on Thursday. Like your personal plans could be expressed in continuous. I am going to this scientific fair, or I am taking part in this fair. But it starts at the same time for everybody, the same as the train that leaves at the same time for everybody. So we use present simple when we mean some things which are well known, scheduled, and publicly like known. So then, look at these sentences and tell me whether you can see some mistakes. Sorry for numbering. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can change it and meanwhile try to spot the mistakes. So, what's wrong in number 1? What time is his plane planned? He does, exactly. So we cannot say is because that is present simple where we need to use does. Well done. Okay, number 2. I visit my grandmother next weekend. Is it okay? Number 2. Well done. I am visiting because it's your personal plan. It's not some public event. So I am visiting. Very good. Number 3, the match starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yes, number 3 is correct. Very attentive. Good job. Okay, number 4. I meet my brother for lunch later this evening. What about number 4? I am meeting exactly because it's your personal plan. Agree. And number 5, she's attending a conference tomorrow. She's attending a conference tomorrow. Yeah, that's also correct. Okay, great job here. So I'm proud of you. All right. So then, now let's speak about some more ways of expressing future, and among them, I'd like to focus on future simple and go into and the differences between them. So, we use future simple when we speak about some spontaneous decisions. So, you don't know for sure, you are thinking about something right now, like maybe I'll visit some other cities. So, you don't know. It's just something you are deciding as you're speaking. That would be future simple. Or it could be some prediction, передбачення, based on our opinion. So when you express something that might happen in the future with words like I think, I believe, I hope, maybe, probably, definitely, I'm pretty sure, and so on. So no matter how strong your opinion is, it's still your opinion, and predictions based on opinion, it's always future simple. And also, we use future simple to give some promises or to refuse doing something like відмовитися від чогось, when we express our fears, страхи, опасіння, or even when we give some threats, погрози. So you can say, I promise I'll bring you some present. Or you can give some threat like, you'll regret it. Ти пожалієш, пошкодуєш. So anyway, no matter what is the tone of your message, if you promise something, good or bad, that would be future simple. Speaking of going to, we mostly say about our plans, intentions, or dreams. Like here, I'm going to travel to Lviv. So there is a big difference between maybe and I am going. I am going, it's like already some plan in your head. That's something you will most likely do. But if you say, I think, I hope, it's not decided at all. And also we use going to express some predictions based on facts or evidence. So unlike predictions in future simple, when it's just your opinion, when it's about going to, you clearly see or know something that will lead to some result. Like I've checked the weather forecast and it's going to be snowy. So it's not just your opinion. It's something you know because you checked weather forecast. Прогноз погоди. So right now, look at the pictures and try to decide whether it should be going to or will in the sentence. So number one, he feed the cat. He will or he's going to feed the cat. What do you think? Yes, number one is no. Somebody said will. He's going to feed the cat. Come on, look here. The cat is already like ready on the position, tail up. So probably the feed will come to the cat very soon. Він от покормить кота. Like, look at this cat. Come on. Number two. They say, I think the kids are going to like or will like the kitty. I think they will. Exactly, because it's just my opinion. I still don't know for sure. I express my thoughts saying I think. Number three, look at this traffic jam. So they will be late or they are going to be late. They are going to be late because here we clearly see some problem, some issue with transportation. Number four, we believe she will enter the university because it's our thoughts. We believe, right? No evidence for now. Okay, number five. The boxer on the left will lose or is going to lose. He's going to lose because he's already fallen down. Yeah, so we can clearly see that. Okay, and number six. I hope our team will win. Absolutely right. I hope our team will win. Again, just your opinion. Well done here. So let's keep moving. And now I would like you to decide which of these sentences is correct. I'm going to go to the cinema. And I'm going to the cinema. So what do you think? Which one looks better? B. Okay, very good. I agree with you. And here's the answer. When we have the verb go or come in present continuous, we can shorten the sentence and don't say like he's going to go, він збирається піти, but it's enough to say he's going to some place, він збирається до якогось місця. So here, like present simple present continuous and going to are almost the same. We can still say I'm going to go, but that sounds a bit long and unneeded. So better to shorten it to one go only. Okay, the second pair. I don't think he'll go to the party, and I think he won't go to the party. Which one is right? I can see answer B. Any more ideas? I don't think he'll go to the party. Or I think he won't go to the party. Okay, some people think it's B. Both are correct. Okay, let's find out. So A is actually right. If you want to show some doubts, you'd better use negative form of the first verb, like think, I don't believe they will win, instead of making will negative. So yeah, A is correct. Just remember, you make negative the first verb here. So then right now you have to decide which of the options is correct looking at these sentences. Number 1, don't worry about your driving test. I'm sure you will pass or you're passing it. Okay, while you're thinking, I'll explain to Славочка. Ми зазвичай говоримо негативну форму першого слова. Тобто ми не кажемо «я думаю, він не». Ми кажемо «я не думаю, що він». So, I don't think he will, and not like I think he won't. So, it's better to use negation in the first part. Okay, I already have some answers. So, you will pass because I'm sure, my opinion. Very good. Number 2, I won't come or I'm not coming on Friday, sorry. I have doctor's appointment. So what about number 2? I'm not coming, exactly, because it's already decided I have a doctor's appointment, so that is my plan and not the party. Okay, very good. Number 3, are you hot? Okay, I'm going to open the window or I will open the window. Very good. The answer is will because we make some spontaneous decision. We didn't know that we need to open the window like before this conversation. Only hearing that the person is uncomfortable, we decided to fix it. So I will open, you decided as you speak. Рішення прийняти в момент мовлення – це will. Okay, number 4. Don't leave your bag there. Someone's stealing it or someone will steal it. Someone will steal it, like I think it could be, I predict it could be, but it's based on my worries, not on some proofs. Number 5. Good morning and welcome to our school. In this talk, I will or I'm going to tell you about something. I'm going to tell you because clearly I have some prepared speech and it's not some improvisation with will, right? Number 6, look at the traffic. We're going to be late or we are arriving late. We're going to be prediction based on proof. Number 7, oops, I forgot your drink. So I'm going to or I will go and get it now. Number 7, I will. You just realize that you forgot something, so you make a spontaneous decision about what to do next. Very good. And number 8, I'm not sure he will or I'm sure he won't become a successful lawyer. Славочка? Any ideas? Because that's what you asked. I'm not sure he will. So again, you make this negative. Very good. You got the idea. Okay, nice. So let's keep moving And here we have one more thing to discuss today. So tell me what tense it is. By the end of the day, I'll have finished all my work, and this time tomorrow I'll be sitting on a plane to Italy. Oh, good dreams. So, what tenses are these? I'll have finished. Okay, that is future perfect. And I'll be sitting on a plane. And that is future continuous. All right. So, and now we're going to look at these two tenses. So, typically saying future continuous marks that we are busy with something at some particular moment in the future. Like at this time tomorrow, at this exact time, I will be sitting on a plane. And future perfect marks some finished action by some time. Like by the end of the day, I'll have finished all my work. So, am I working when my day is over? Not anymore. All is done before the day ends. So, let's have a look at the rules in details. So, when it's future continuous, we speak about action that will be in progress at some particular time in the future. Like this time tomorrow, I'll be flying to Rome. You already have your tickets. Or it could be some planned future actions, which is like a part of some bigger routine. Like the president will be visiting Egypt next month. So he is planning lots of visits, and Egypt will be among them. Or it could be used to make some polite request about someone's plans. So, for example, you can say, are you going to use your computer? And that would be too direct, but will you be using your computer? Then we can ask, especially if we need that computer, for example. When it comes to future perfect, again, we have a few rules. So, first of all, it's for actions which will be completed before some specific moment in the future. So, if we imagine some timeline, let's look at it. Then, let's imagine that here we have now, this very moment, and then all that is behind it is future. So, if we mentioned some particular duration or maybe some particular point in the future, that is future continuous. Like I'll be reading the book from 8 to 9 or at 8:30. So I'll be busy at some exact time. But if you promise that all your things, all your actions will be ready by some time in the future, then you use future perfect. Like I will have finished reading the book by 10 p.m. So no matter whether you read it at 8 or 9, at 10 you are not reading anymore. So I will have finished my book by 10 p.m. So it's a very good way to explain something which is related to some deadlines. For example, I will have finished my coursework by Friday. Or, for example, I will have passed the test before my mom knows my bad result, and so on. Also, we use future perfect when we speak about actions which will be completed before another action in the future. So we can mark it by some time or by another action. For example, I guess John will have stopped working by the time we arrive. So we arrive in the future, he will have stopped working before that. Pay attention, by the time we arrive is used in present because when we have some time clauses like when, after, before, by the time, after them we never use future form. So again, there is a rule that the second action in future will be expressed by present tenses, not future, especially after words like when, if, as soon as, and so on. So here you can see some time markers of both future perfect and future continuous. Typically, future perfect has something with by or before because we promise the end of the action to that particular point. And future continuous marks exact time when the action will be in progress, like at some time, this time next week, when something else happens, or maybe some long duration, like all day tomorrow, all week, and so on. Like I'll be working on some project all week. So, again, let's decide whether the sentences here are correct. Number one, I'll be owning 3 cars in 2 years from now. Or maybe I'll own 3 cars in 2 years from now. So, what do you think is right? Any of your ideas? Own it's володіти. So, я буду власником 3 машин. So, which is correct? That is B. And why not A? Who can tell me? Well, I will be owning is not right. I can give you a clue. Why is it not okay to say I'll be having 3 cars? Can we say it? No, because we do not use state or stative verbs in continuous. Come on, 2 previous webinars about past tenses and about present tenses were dedicated to this topic. So the same thing happens when we speak about future. We never use state verbs in continuous. So have, own, possess, verbs of possession like володіння, власність чогось are never continuous forms. Very good. Okay, so let's look at the second pair. I'll be traveling around Asia, or I'll be traveling. Okay, wait a second. I will be traveling around Asia when I am 30 or when I will be 30. What's the difference? And which one is right? Yeah, very good. A is correct. So here it's a bit simpler. And again, we remember that we use only present simple, even when we speak about future, to indicate some point in time when we express words like by the time, when, before, if, after, as soon as, the moment, and so on. So we could say, I'll have finished the presentation by the time the meeting never will start by, but starts. Okay, good enough. So then let's do one last exercise. Here you have to fill in the gaps, opening the brackets with the correct form. I can't come home. Sorry, just I can't come with you. I what? Am preparing, will preparing, prepare, or stuff like that. So try to guess what form is it. I can't come with you. All day tomorrow, so pay attention to the time markers. I will be preparing. Well, you can say I'm going to prepare, but if you say all day tomorrow, you mark the duration. That is better to use future continuous because you know that all your day will be busy with one action. Okay, very good. Then, number 2, I hope they. It's easy. So I hope they will find. Or if we say by the time, then they will have found before something else happens in the future. So please, firstly, look at the time marker and then on the rest of things. They will have found. Вже знайдуть до того часу. Number 3. Again, by the end of the day. We will have answered. Ми вже відповімо. Like we will have some finished action by the end of the day. Good. Number 4. In 50 years from now, we in 50 years from now, we will be living, житимемо, like in the process, in much smaller houses. Very good. Number 5. She says she will be traveling, like in the process, in her 60s. Very good. No, we can't say will has traveled. She will have traveled to Paris before she turns 60. Вона з'їздить до Парижу до того, як їй виповниться 60. But she will be traveling in her 60s, like during the period of this decade. Number 6. Let's hope they, again, by the time we get home. So let's hope they will have cleaned, поприбирають. When we have some finished action in the future, that's future perfect. Okay, number 7. You will have left. Ти вже підеш, коли він дзвонитиме. You will have left when he calls. So I can take a message if you want. If we say ти йтимеш, like покидатимеш місце роботи maybe, then probably you can still answer the phone call. But if you will have left, ти вже підеш, then unfortunately you cannot come back. And number 8. People, these types of leisure activities in 2070. People will have. Yes, very good. We cannot say will be having because it's a stative verb not used in continuous. Okay, very nice job, guys. So then right now, let's sum up by asking and answering some tricky questions. So, do we have 3 reading tasks in NMT? Yes, no? No. How many reading tasks do we have? Actually, 4 of them, exactly. Like 2 matching, advertisements and small texts, big reading, and fill in the gaps reading. Okay, good. Number 2. Have people ever invented any continents? No, they discovered them. Thank you. Number 3. Can a fridge be called equipment? The refrigerator you have in the kitchen, is it some equipment? Actually, it's appliance, first of all. Equipment is something typically whether a set of some things or something more like needed for one purpose but put together from different things. Number 4. Can we use present simple to talk about future? Yeah, absolutely, especially when it's something scheduled or planned for public, like some group event. Good. And number 6, can we use both going to and future simple to make predictions? So number 6. Oh, it's number 5. I'm sorry. Bad numbering. So actually, yeah, we can use both of them, but go into is prediction based on something. Like we are going to finish, or I think we are going to finish very soon. You know that the time of the webinar is almost over. And future simple, it's more like, oh, I think that we will have, I don't know, topic about animals next time, but it's just your thoughts. Number 7, can we use state verbs in all future tenses? No. In continuous, no. Thank you, Serhii. That's exactly the answer I expected to see. Okay, very good job today. So thank you for participating in this webinar. The presentation will be uploaded soon, and there you will find even more tasks than I included in the webinar, so you can practice some more activities about future tenses, about words connected with appliances and equipment on your own. So that's all from me now. Any questions from you? If there are any, you can ask in the chat. I'll try to answer later. And thank you for the meeting. Bye bye.